Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa salatu wa salamu ala ashrafil anbiya wal mursaleen. Muhammadu Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Tasliman kathiran kathira. Fama badu. My dear brothers and sisters, last Jummah I spoke to you about Vision 2021. And this Jummah I promised to tell you about life goal planning. So here goes. Reflect on this. At 99 degrees, water is hot. At 100 degrees, it boils. Boiling water produces steam, and steam can power an engine. The difference is a matter of 1 degree more. And that's my gift to you, the power of 1 degree more. In 2008, in the men's 800-meter race in the Olympics, the difference between the Olympic gold medal and no medal, not the difference between the gold and silver, gold and bronze, I'm talking about the gold medal and no medal, the difference in timing was 0.29 seconds. Wilfred Bungai won the gold medal. The one who won no medal, nobody remembers his name. In the same year, 2008, in the Indy 500 car race, the difference between the first and second place was 1.7 seconds. The difference in prize money was $1,714,000. I say to you that only 1 degree separates the good from the great. Between growing up and growing old, there is a short window during which we can make a difference. Once that window shuts, then effectively our life is over, even if we remain alive. Because to live is not merely to draw breath. Let me ask you, what differentiates the lion from the antelope? The same thing which differentiates ordinary light from laser. The same thing that differentiates the leaders from the rest. And that is focus. Ordinary light at best illuminates. Laser cuts through steel. What is focus? Focus is the art of ignoring fluff. If you want to get what you never had, you must do what you never did. If you always do what you always did, you will always get what you always got. Results come from actions. Actions define us. It's our life. We are responsible for the results, not anyone else, not society, not parents, not government, not the weather, not the economy, not COVID. All are circumstances, conditions, like the wind for a sailor. Good sailors use the wind to their advantage. Bad sailors complain about the wind until they sink. That is why they say there are no favorable winds, only good sailors. You are now aware and you have a target. Your target is just 1 degree more. On the path to success, there are 5 realities that we must face. Number 1, we become what we think. We become how we think. Your mind is like a fertile field. It doesn't care what you plant in it, but it will return to you whatever you plant. You plant rice, you get rice. You plant wheat, you get wheat. You plant rice, you want wheat, you don't get. Number 2, attitude. Present circumstances, whatever they are, do not decide if you will succeed or fail. They only decide where you need to start. You can spend your life trying to achieve, or you can spend your life telling people why you couldn't achieve. you can spend your life complaining. The results of the two will not be the same. Number 3, faith. In the words of Barbara Winters, when you come to the end of the light of all that you know and are about to step off into the darkness of the unknown, faith is knowing, not just believing. Faith is knowing that one of two things will happen. There will be something firm to stand on, or you will be taught how to fly. In the words of the creator of Barbara Winters, وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ وَمَنْ يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ. For the one who has taqwa, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said He will extract him from his difficulties and He will provide him from sources that he could not imagine. And for the one who has faith and reliance only on his Rabb Jalla Jalaluhu, his Rabb Jalla Jalaluhu will become sufficient for him. وَمَنْ يَتَوَكَّلَ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ. The one who has tawakkul on Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will become sufficient for that person. Number 4, a goal. What kind of goal? An extraordinary goal. Why an extraordinary goal? Because it is in the nature of extraordinary goals to inspire extraordinary effort. People do not rise to low expectations. They rise to high expectations. Set a goal that scares the daylights out of you and then proceed to create a plan to achieve it. Forget others and their approval. They don't matter. It's your life. Live it. And number 5, perseverance. For success is nothing more than this: to rise every time you fall. Everyone falls. It's not the fall, but what you do thereafter which makes the difference. To fall is human. To stay down is a decision. And every decision has a price. It's not important who you want to be. What is important is who wants to be you. And that is why my gift to you is my own motto in life. I will not allow what is not in my control to prevent me from doing what is in my control. My brothers and sisters, goal setting is the key to superior performance. The principal difference between those who stand out and those who don't is simply whether they have structured goals or not. I want you to recall the 2 questions I asked you last Friday. Number 1, what do you want to achieve in life? And number 2, what will you give up to get what you want? I remind you and myself that we are free to choose, but every choice has a price tag. We can have anything we want in life if we are prepared to pay its price. It's very much like going into a store, say TJ Maxx or Marshall's or any store. You may not have thought about it this way, but you will be faced when you go into a store with 2 things: choices and options. How many choices will you have? As many items as there are in that store. Hundreds, maybe thousands. But how many options do you have? As many as you can buy. If you don't get what you want, it's not because it wasn't there, but because you didn't pay for it. You didn't pay the price. If you want it, it's still there. You can still get it. Just pay the price. That's exactly how it is in life. In careers, in marriages, in wealth creation, you name it. The choices that a person has are endless. But we only get what we pay for. Not more, not less. Nothing is free. Absolutely nothing. Everything has a price. And if you pay it, you will get it. It's as simple as that. Think about this. If you walk out of this place and ask the first person you meet, do you want to be successful in life? What do you think he will say? Ask the second, the 10th, the 100th, the 1000th. Same answer. But ask yourself, if the world is full of successful people or not? Ask why not? It's not because they don't want success. It's because they have not defined the price for it. Think about this. If you want a Rolls Royce, but you go into the store with the price of a Hyundai in your pocket, and that also not even a proper Hyundai car, but a Hyundai toy car. If you go with that price in your pocket into a Rolls Royce showroom and give that price and say, I want to buy a Rolls, what is the dealer going to tell you? He will sit you down in front of a nice big screen, a monitor. He will give you the mouse in your hand and he will say, roll the mouse over the picture of the Rolls. You can see it, turn it around, open the doors, everything else. And you can look at it and drool over it until the tissue is done. That is what you get for the price that you paid me. If you really want the car, if you want to drive that car, if you want to own that car, then you have to pay a lot more than that. Thank you for your money. Enjoy yourself. That's how it is in life. We get what we pay for. Give up something to get something. And those are the questions that I asked you to reflect on last week. The problem with most people is that they don't differentiate between choices and options. They spend their lives dreaming about choices without thinking about how to increase their options to get those choices. Without options, choices are like clouds in the sky. So who is a wealthy person? The one who has more things or the one who has more options? Let me give you another example. Someone who has wealth in land, owns thousands of acres of land, has fewer options than someone who has exactly the same wealth, but that wealth is in gold and negotiable instruments, in stocks and bonds, for example. So though they have the same net worth in terms of financial standing, one is more agile and therefore more wealthy than the other one, because he or she can take advantage of new opportunities to enhance their wealth, while the other one who has land but can't liquidate his holdings easily or get the right price for it is stuck. It's not the amount of wealth, but its nature that counts. Wealth can be a burden or an asset. Your call. The same story with respect to our akhirah, to the hereafter, to the life after death. The choices are in our hands. Jannah is ours for the taking. What we want in it, we can decide. But to get it, we must do something. Simply wanting is not good enough. We need to work to create our options. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called it a trade. He said, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu hal adullukum ala tijaratin tunjikum min adhabin alim. He said, Oh, you who believe, shall I guide you to a commerce that will save you from a painful torment? In another place, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that He gave Jannah to the believers in exchange for their lives and wealth to be used in His service. Remember that life and wealth also belongs to Him. It is His grace and majesty and glory and generosity that He says this is a transaction. Where He said, Inna Allah ashtara minal mu'minina anfusahum wa amwalahum bi anna lahumul jannah. He said, verily Allah has purchased from the believers their lives and their wealth and their properties as the price that theirs shall be the Jannah. It is up to us to pay up and collect. Here are the steps to take if you are serious. But first, ask yourself if you are serious. There is a difference between doing something seriously as your life goal and doing it part-time like a hobby, like a nafil. Expecting the same results from both is unreasonable. It's a sign of insanity. As I mentioned earlier, the difference between those who stand out and leave a legacy and those who don't is whether they have structured goals or not. Structure is the secret of efficiency, and documentation is proof that we have structure in our lives. What you document, you understand, can revisit to improve it. Your understanding can be improved, and it remains as your legacy after you've gone. What you don't document is lost to you and everybody else. So also the only thing equal and even for everyone is the number of hours. The differentiator that gives you competitive advantage is what you do in those hours. The most productive human being on the face of the earth, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, also had only 24 hours. So does the least productive person, whoever that is. We are given the hours, not in our control. But what we want to do in them is completely in our control. Let me do this little bit of simple math for you. 1 hour a day. Just think about what you spend 1 hour a day on. That 1 hour a day, see how it translates. 1 hour a day multiplied by 365 days is 365 hours. Multiply that by 10 years, and believe me, time passes very fast. Multiply that by 10 years, that is 3,650 hours. Divide that by 16 hours, which is your waking time. If you sleep 8 hours a day, 16 hours waking time. You end up with 228 days. 228 days. Think of the value of that when you are dying. If Malakul Maut asked you to pay for that, 225 extra days, you don't die today, you die 228 days from now. What will you pay? Tell me, what will we pay? Today it's free. I want to close by reminding myself and you that on the day of judgment, what we did will be recalled, weighed, and we will be rewarded. That is the question to reflect on. Every one of us is an author. Our books will be published on the day of judgment. What we want to see in our book is in our hands today. So think and write. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Jalla Jalaluhu to give us the wisdom to do that which pleases Him and to save us from that which does not please Him. وصلى الله على نبي الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين والحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.